Hey guys, happy Monday. We are continuing our review through the end of the year just to make sure we sharpen our skills for everything we need for next year for algebra. Today we're going to focus on multi-step equations. You're going to have another one of those mystery pictures where you can answer the questions, and if it's correct it'll give you a border, if it's wrong it'll give you red. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, I picked two problems from the review, and I want to do those with you just to kind of remind you of how to do each of the steps. So if you need to take notes, I would take notes on these. That way, anyways, two of them are done. So let me go in and show you. So multi-step equations, the first thing, there's 5 steps for multi-step equations. You may or may not use each of them. It depends on the problem. So the first step you always have to try to do, if it exists, is distribute. So if you see parentheses with a number outside of it or a number and variable, you have to distribute that to the terms inside. The next is to combine like terms on the same side. It's important that they're on the same side. That's what combining like terms are. If you're moving stuff back and forth, it's not combining like terms, it's moving your variables around or your constants, which are the next 2 steps. So steps 3 and step 4 are interchangeable. First, you can move all your constants or numbers to one side, and you use inverse operations for that. And then you move all variables to the other side, again using inverse operations. Again, all 4 of these steps may or may not appear. Barney is talking about math. Okay, he's whining about math. And then number 5 is to isolate the variable. That's the last step in the problem. And that you're usually either multiplying or dividing to get your variable alone. So if we look at 2 examples, and these are directly from your sheet, so you can actually, when you get to these problems, you can use the answers. Okay, we're going to do them together. So the first problem that I want to go over is this. 6 times the quantity of x minus 2 equals 42. And if you notice, there's parentheses here. That means we need to distribute. So we're going to take our 6 and we're going to distribute. I couldn't make curvy arrows, so I just made like straight arrows, but you're taking 6 times x and 6 times negative 2. When you do that, you get 6x minus 12 equals 42. Okay, now there's nothing over here to combine on the left side. Those are unlike terms, so you can skip to number 3. I want to move all my constants to the right side. So I want to add 12 to both sides. Okay, if you have minus 12, the inverse operation is adding 12. Because I'm going to add 12 to both sides. Those guys cancel out, and I'm left with 6x equals 54. Okay. All my variables are on one side, so that step 4 basically gets skipped because it's already on one side. So now we can skip to step 5 and isolate our variable. We're going to divide both sides by 6. Remember, 6x means 6 times x, so the inverse operation of multiplication is division. Divide both sides by 6, and we get x equals 9. Okay. All right, the next problem is a little bit different. It's multi-step. But it looks a little funny because we have a fraction and we have just a whole number on the right side here. So we want to get rid of this 3. That's our goal. There's nothing to distribute. There's nothing to combine. So what I need to do to get rid of this 3 is to multiply both sides by 3. And notice how I put them in red. So if I multiply both sides by 3, what happens on the left side is they cancel out. So I put a strike through. They cancel out. And I'm left with just this x minus 1 equals negative 18. Because negative 6 times 3 is negative 18. Then I have a 2-step equation just like I did in this step over here. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. Oh, actually I have a 1-step equation because there's nothing in front of the x. So I have x equals negative 17. So hopefully those will help you. All the rest of the problems are similar or less involved than that. And have fun with that drawing a picture.